I don't know why that's happening. Here we go. Okay, trying to do a recording. Hi, everybody. So please do me a favor while we get started here and introduce yourself and let me know if you have closings in your area, like if where you live. So here in Tennessee, so Chattanooga, schools are closed till March 30th. So give me a little feedback about what's going on in your area, where you live, what you're seeing in regards to the fear and panic in your community, that kind of thing. I'm just interested in seeing what's going on around the real world as opposed to what the media is telling us. So hello to everyone. Diane, hey mom, Heather, Kristen, Lee, Linda, Stan, Regina. These are people who are popping in. So this is unusual for me. I don't usually go live to the general public anymore or do a webinar for general public information because I focus so much on educating health coaches. I'm going to hit this light off. Hold on a moment, you guys. It's getting on my nerves, a little bright. Anyway, but I thought today is a good opportunity for me to talk to my community, talk to my audience, talk to my friends and family, and maybe help some of you health coaches to step outside of, again, you know, beyond the fear, the pills, the panic, and all of that kind of stuff. And speak to your communities about the things that I'm sharing today. Because it really is about more than just, you know, washing your hands and freaking out about, you know, all the things that you're seeing on media and spreading the fear, right? So first off, my disclaimer, I'm a health coach, I'm not a doctor. I haven't studied, you know, the coronavirus. I am not an infectious disease specialist. I am not here to tell you what to do. I'm simply here to share information I think that needs to lean more into common sense, and also to talk a little bit about, you know, what we can actually do to protect ourselves and our family and create, you know, an environment in our bodies and in our homes and wherever we are, wherever we're living and working right now, of maybe some peace and calm as opposed to the fear. So let's start with this. The coronavirus has been around for a long time, right? It's a virus. It is just like, and I don't mean just like exactly, you know, the same strain or anything like that, but what I'm saying is it's like any other virus. It's something that we need to take seriously. It's something that we need to think about when it comes to how we care for ourselves, how we're living our lives and things like that, right? So when I say it's just like any virus, I just mean this. We have gotten into a situation, I believe, as a society where we are reacting to important and urgent situations. And we're reacting because, in my opinion, and again, if you're a health coach on here, you guys, I'm speaking to the general public right now. So what I'm saying to you, I'm not saying you as health coaches, because you guys have studied this stuff, you know this stuff, but I'm saying as a general community or society, we're very reactive. And that's because many times we're not educated on the things that we need to do to keep ourselves healthy in the first place. So I'm going to use words today that I normally wouldn't use when I'm working one-on-one with clients or teaching classes and programs, but this is general information for the general public. So I speak generally and I'm not customizing my care in any capacity whatsoever. That's my massive disclaimer for today. So when we're talking about being reactive versus being preventative, you know, what many things can be headed off at the very front end. And we know this, right? We know that I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm not telling you that eating healthier is better for you. I'm not telling, you know this, right? I'm not saying get more sleep and you're going, oh, that's a surprise. You know all of this. We know how to take care of ourselves and what's best for ourselves. But sadly, we have moved away from a lot of the common sense things that we need to be doing for many reasons. You know, one of those reasons is the media, right? There's a lot of scare tactics out there telling you that you need to be doing specific things, taking specific things, worried about specific things, pushing pills on you. Lots of people out there patting their pockets with fear, and those types of things. The common sense things I want to focus on today are this, you guys, is that as human beings, and hold on a minute, this thing keeps coming up about a live stream. I'm just going to make sure it stops. Okay, it did. Common sense things, right? Washing your hands. We've replaced washing our hands with hand sanitizer. Not smart, right? Not a smart thing, but where did that come from? Well, someone's making money off of hand sanitizer, and now you can't find it anywhere, and everyone's freaking out that they're going to get sick because they don't have hand sanitizer. But what we do have is water and soap. Pretty sure that we're not going to run out of water and soap anytime soon. So of course, common sense, first line of defense, actually wash your hands. Okay. No, and I don't mean like run them under the water and then open the door with your, you know, your elbow or your toe or whatever. I mean, spend some time on this, you guys. Wash your hands for a full minute. Use extra soap, whatever it may be. So that's just one example of common sense. The other thing is our bodies repair and recover when we sleep. And the things that are disrupting our sleep are things like this. The thing that I'm talking to you on right now, the blue light coming out of my computer, our telephones, light that comes in through the window that disrupts our melatonin that helps us sleep. We've got to start getting on a pattern of sleep that matches nature more, especially during times like this when we are trying to support our immune system. So I'm going to go into that in just a moment on the ways that we can support our immune system. But let's start with the very, very basics of this. And I'm not getting into medical talk. I'm not speaking in depth about anything. I'm going to keep this very layperson friendly. And I just want to say this, that our immune system is about 80 to 90%, depending on which studies you read and who you ask. It exists in our gut, okay? In our gut. It doesn't exist in your sinuses. It doesn't exist in your head. It doesn't exist in your chest. And many times, and I've heard this before, where people are like, oh, I've got a terrible cold. It must be because I'm stopped up. My allergies are acting up because I'm stopped up, right? So let me challenge this a little bit and say, your allergies are acting up because your gut is not healthy, right? You're getting viruses and you're getting sick quicker than some people because your immune system is not cooperating or is not as healthy as it could be. So we've got to stop blaming the things, the symptoms that are happening, and start focusing on the origin of a healthy immune system. This is very, and I'm just going to throw this out there. This is like saying, I'm taking an SSRI or an antidepressant because, I'm chemically imbalanced in my brain, when most of the serotonin that we create and we need for a healthy, happy life is created in our gut. So I am saying this, that there are so many things out there that you guys are being marketed, with or to or shown that really don't have facts behind them, and they're focused on your symptoms, right? Or lack thereof. So I want to focus on what can we do from the very foundation of ourselves and our body by using common sense to support the thing that is supposed to be protecting us the most, and that is your immune system. So again, immune system, 80 to 90% of your immune system exists in your gut. Let's talk about what affects that. Okay, so what affects your gut health? Number one thing that affects your gut health is stress. It's the number one thing. And I've had discussions about this before, and in fact, I used to say the same thing. All health starts in the gut. Well, I don't believe that anymore. I believe that all health starts with how we perceive stress, how we see the world around us, how we're handling the stress that's in our lives, how we're reacting to the stress. And trust me when I tell you I understand stress. It is a daily thing for me to wake up and go, today is a beautiful day. Today, I start the day with a new mind. I work every morning before I put my feet on the ground, before I turn the light on, to have my first message to myself, to be one that isn't defeating, that isn't negative, that isn't setting me and my body up for sickness, for distress, and for stress. Now, trust me when I tell you I'm not perfect. My mom's on here right now. She'll tell you there's been more days than not that I've called her up and said, oh my God, can one more thing happen lately? That kind of thing. But I want to say this, that when you are aware of the first thought of your day being something negative, you are giving a message to your immune system and your body that the rest of the body is going to follow. I'm going to give you an example. Stay with me here because this is important stuff, you guys. This is the basics. This is not something you have to run out and get a prescription for. This is not something you have to go to the doctor for. This is not something that you're going to sanitize your way through. This is a real key and a tool for you to start your day off in a way that makes sense, that can set you up for success for the rest of the day with your health. And that is telling your immune system and your body that it is healthy, it is strong, and it is able to defend off anything that comes your way that is a foreign invader, that could harm your health, that could cause problems for you. So let me just say, this might sound a little woo-woo and whatever, but it's all scientifically based. It's all backed by science. So start your day first thing in the morning. Expose yourself to light. Let's get on a circadian pattern. Circadian pattern means that you are living your life according to the way the sun rises and sets, right? It's the best method of defense against anything, against stress, against insomnia, against hormonal imbalances, against viruses, against sicknesses and disease, is to get rest and follow nature's path. So what does that look like? That looks like this. First thing you do in the morning is expose your eyes to light and have a thought in your head that prepares your body and your mind for a successful, healthy day, okay? So when the sun comes up, the first thing, well, it's dark when I get up for the most part. So I expose myself to artificial light first thing. And why do I do that? Because I want to depress melatonin and raise cortisol. These are two important hormones that are regulated by how we're handling stress and how we sleep. So when that happens, what I'm doing is I'm telling myself, let's get cortisol up for the day. Let's get started. Let's get our energy up. Let's suppress melatonin, which is a hormone, you guys. So if you're taking melatonin, there's a whole other day on that one. I could talk about that for a good hour. But what we're doing is we're getting ourselves ready, right? To get most of the things that are high energy done in the morning. As the day progresses, and this is just a fast, example of what it looks like to live according to a circadian lifestyle, is as the day progresses and the sun starts to change, then so should your activities, and especially during times like this when your body needs every chance it can get to stay healthy and low stress. Not having enough sleep is stressful. Not following a circadian pattern is stressful. Hormonal imbalance is stressful. Stress affects the gut. The gut is where the immune system lives. So if you're just joining me right now, we're just trying to get the basics down on this information, okay? So start your day that way, end your day that way. So as the sun starts to go down, as it goes down a little bit later in the day, close your blinds, turn on some amber lights, get a little bit dark in your house, go to bed earlier, and start to get yourself regulated that way. It's one of your first one of your first defense mechanisms against getting sick is to sleep and get on a circadian rhythm pattern. Okay, so let's go into this just a little bit about what stress does to the gut, so you understand the next part I'm talking about, which is food. So what happens when we are under stress? Two things will stop. One, digestion will stop right away when it senses stress, and the body doesn't want to procreate as well. So we're talking about not wanting to have sex, right? The body says, I don't want to procreate. I don't want to digest food. I have this stress in my life. I need to focus on dealing with this first. So let's shut down production of stomach acid and enzymes. Let's slow those things down. Let's decrease that, and let's focus on whatever the stress thing is, okay? So we can't necessarily stop eating, right? We gotta eat for fuel. We have to eat to be healthy. But what we do need to do is we need to see stress differently and react to it differently so that our body has a fighting chance to digest the nutrients that we need to be healthy. So, and again, a layman's version of this looks like this. Let's say, just remember, and everybody uses this example of, running from a saber-toothed tiger back in the day. The minute that we experience the idea of danger, our body goes into shutdown mode so that we can survive that danger by putting all of our energy into running from it, right? So here's the thing. When we think stressful thoughts, our body sees that as a stressor that's happening in our environment and around us right now. It doesn't know the difference between a thought that we're feeding our body and something that's actually happening. Here's the other thing. Good stress is the same thing as bad stress when it comes to what the body actually does chemically. So happy stress, right? Having babies, getting married, excited about a trip. Maybe something really big is happening in your life and your body is just, you all know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've got some great news and you've got that underlying bubbling feeling of excitement, right? It's a stressor on the body at the same time as a near car accident or a fear of viruses or unaddressed trauma, or things that you may not even know about. This is why I believe that stress is the number one thing to focus on, not food, okay? Food is important, but to me, it's not as important as what we see in our lives as stressful. So many people talk about reducing and managing stress. I think that is more stressful to consider than actually changing the way that I see stress. If you came to me, let's just say that you came to me, and this actually happened. I was told not even 6 months ago, you're just gonna have to remove some stress from your life. Oh my gosh, do you wanna talk about flipping me out? I'm like, okay, what would you like me to do? Would you like me to give my child away? Would you like me to get rid of my house? Maybe I could get rid of my animals. Perhaps I should just shut down my business, right? So that was more stressful to hear than actually saying, I have control over how I see things, how I react to things, how I feel things in my body. But what I don't really have control over is the fact that I have a house to run. I have a child that I love and care for. I have a body I need to take care for. I have a business that I have to build. I have thousands of people in my online community that I care deeply about showing up for. You know, all of those things that I have to be able to have in my life. I can't just get rid of them. I can't reduce them, right? But I can see things differently so that I send a message to my immune system that it doesn't have to worry, right? That my digestion is on track. So let me give you just an example of this, and then I'm going to keep on going. And again, as I started this webinar, I want to hear from you guys. Lots of you joined late. Where do you live, and what are you seeing as far as like closings are concerned? Is there complete mayhem where you are? I'm in Tennessee. I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I have friends in Clarksville, where I used to live. Seems to be across the board. You know, closes are starting. I mean, schools are starting to close. Grocery stores are starting to empty shelves. That's starting to happen here. I have a friend in Washington State that messages me every day, checking on me and asking how we are. Going into almost full-blown emergency out there right now. Discussions about, you know, the Seahawks Stadium being opened up as a hospital. So this is a very, very serious thing that we're talking about here. Why I want to talk about not panicking around it isn't because it's not serious. It's very serious, you guys. But it is because we have an opportunity right here, right now. If you're a healthy person right now, or you're a health coach, educator, practitioner, whatever, or if you're just a person like my mom, who I know does everything she can to take care of herself, and my dad too. If you are those people, you have the opportunity to share your own information with other people, settle down the stress and panic, which is causing people to get sick faster, because we're reducing stomach acid and we're creating an unhappy and unfriendly environment for our immune system to function. The most important thing we can do right now is support that immune system. And I'm going to share also a Dropbox link in the chat about all the things that I keep on hand all year round. Whether there's a virus, you know, an outbreak or something going on, I have my own things in advance. That's about prevention. So getting on with the conversation about how we support our immune system, beyond the way that we see stress, right? Beyond the way that we're looking at it, beyond getting up and putting your feet on the ground every morning with a new mindset, not one that says, oh my God, I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, I went to bed so late. Oh, another day at work. Or, oh, I'm so worried about this virus. I don't even know what to do. I've got to go to the grocery store. How are we going to live with this? If we start our day that way, our body is going to follow that lead. So The Body Speaks the Mind is a really fabulous book by Deb Shapiro that I think everybody should be in touch with or read, because it really tells you that the thoughts you think tell your body what's going on. It tells your body how to respond. So think about it like this. I'll use the age-old example. Have you ever been just sitting there, you know, having conversations with someone or whatever, and someone may say, you know, take a second and think about a lemon, and you think about it and your mouth waters, right? The thought created this response in the body of the mouth watering. It is the same thing with our thoughts, right? About our bodies and how we see ourselves, whether we see ourselves healthy, whether we see ourselves sick, whether we dread the things that are going to happen that day, whether we, if we tell ourselves that we're going to be exhausted and fatigued, you can pretty much guarantee your day is going to be set up with you going, oh my God, I'm so tired. Oh, I feel so tired. I'm exhausted. I'm fatigued, right? So it's very important, as I mentioned earlier, before you put your feet on the ground, get a message going for your mind that sets your body up for the rest of the day for success. Okay. The other thing, again, and I'm just recapping, how you see the world around you, how you see the things that are happening to you affects how your body digests food, and that affects your immune system. So let's go into that. Let's talk about food for a minute, because so many people think that food is the number one thing that we should be changing in order to be healthy. But again, if we have stress, we're not going to digest properly. Whatever you put in your mouth isn't going to stand a chance. Okay. So how do you support healthy digestion in times of stress? So, and again, when I share the link, you'll see, I suggest looking into and making sure that your enzymes are on board, that you guys are properly producing enzymes. And if you are under stress, you might have gas or bloating or undigested food particles in your stool, those types of things. Those will tell you straight up that you are not digesting properly. So enzymes that I'm going to share with you in a link can be super powerful to give you that support while you're trying to work through this stressful time. So Again, gas is not normal. It's not a normal response just because you ate broccoli or beans. It means that you're lacking some of the enzymes to properly digest food. If you are not having at least, I say, 2 to 3 normal bowel movements every day, normal bowel movements, then you are not eliminating the food that you are eating. It is sitting in your gut and it is becoming toxic. So we have to keep pathways of elimination open and moving to be able to detoxify our systems, to protect our immune system, and to be one of the best defenses against viruses. This is common sense stuff. You don't have to buy this, you guys. You don't have to buy a better attitude when you wake up in the morning. You don't have to buy new messages to tell your body what's going on, right? You don't have to buy taking deep breaths before you eat to give your body the best chance at digestion. You do have to buy food. But what you buy is just as important as how you digest. So let's talk about food for just a second. And ask me anything you want to ask too, you guys. Anything you want to ask. So, you know, many times we hear people say, well, I can't eat this and I can't eat that and I don't eat this and I don't eat that. Sometimes the way that we think about food is more stressful than the stuff that we're actually putting in our mouth. So that's the first thing I want to say. If you are a person that worries about every little thing that that goes into your mouth, or every little thing that you could possibly be exposed to, you're probably more stressed out about food than any little crumb of something that you could put in your mouth. I just want to throw that out there as a disclaimer. I'm not about to tell you, you need to go dairy-free, soy-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, no sugar, all organic, and don't eat anything that comes from a package. I'm not going to say that to you. Many people might say that that would be the first thing that I would say because I'm a health coach. But it's not. It's not, because I feel like that's extremely stressful. So my suggestion when it comes to food is this. Eat as much whole food as you possibly can, which is food is what it is exactly as it looks, right? Vegetables, broccoli, cabbage, fruits, and all of that stuff. You guys know this. I'm not going to go into this, okay? But you know, eating food that is looks like what it is your healthiest method of eating. Shopping the perimeter, okay? When you eat meats and things like that, if you're under a great deal of stress, it's going to be harder to digest some of that. So I would encourage you to consider and think about maybe, decreasing the amount of meats and fats and things like that could be harder to digest during times of stress. This is not me saying don't eat fat. Fat's fantastic and it's healthy for you. But I'm saying if your body's under stress and you're struggling to digest, and that's showing up through gas and bloating and undigested food, until you get your enzymes on track, stick with some things that are easier to digest. So that would be things like broths, which I'm a big fan of homemade broths and broths that are made from grass-fed meats and foods, right? Cooked vegetables, raw vegetables can be a little bit harder on the body to digest. Friendlier foods, fruits and things like that. Harder to digest foods would be the proteins and the fats and foods that maybe your body struggles a little bit more to produce enzymes for when we're under stress. So with that said, eat as anti-inflammatory as you possibly can without stressing yourself out about it. You know what you can do? Super easy. Get a whole chicken at the store, you guys, that's certified humane. Throw it into your Instant Pot if you can, if you have an Instant Pot. If you don't, put it in a crock pot. Cover it with filtered water. Throw a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in there to pull all those minerals out of the bones. And add some broth to your foods to help to protect your immune system, okay? That's just a super quick tip on foods. I could go into all kinds of stuff about food, but I'm not going to because we have other things to talk about. All right, so we've talked about stress and how that's the #1 thing that affects your digestion and your immune system. We talked about sleep and how important that is, you guys, to rest and repair, to get on a circadian rhythm with your body, waking up as close to the sun, if not before, going to bed as soon as the sun starts to go down, or when it turns dark, and getting yourself ready, getting your environment ready for the dark, right? So the other thing is, and yes, I mean, gosh, I know there's coaches on here that are probably going, why aren't you talking about EMFs? Why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you talking about that? Talking to the general public today, I'm giving just some common sense tips here on how we can do things without rushing out and spending a bunch of money and freaking out about, about the things that are happening in our world today. Common sense stuff. So let's talk just a little bit about going out into the world. How do we protect ourselves without throwing masks on and gloves on and fighting over toilet paper and all of those things? So my suggestion is this: only go out if you really need to go out, right? But remember this when you are out. Yes, I mean, handles on grocery carts and baskets and touching things other people touch and all that is going to get everybody all in a stir. You're going to start seeing people using things to pick things up and all of that. But remember, it's in the air. It's on things. It's when you brush up against someone. It's everywhere. So when you go out, just try to keep your distance a little bit, right? Make sure that you are onboarding all the antivirals that you can, you know, on a daily basis, right? So when I share the link, I should probably grab it, but I'm afraid you guys are going to go out and start looking at it in a minute. So I'm going to wait. I want to wait because I want to touch on this. So taking antivirals that are natural can be a really fantastic way to support yourself. One of my favorite ones to take is lauricidin or lauricidin, however you want to say it. And I will, again, you're going to see that in my little picture I'm sharing with you guys. So when I share the Dropbox link with you, grab it, go out and look at it. And then it's temporary. I'll probably keep it in there for about a week. You can screenshot it, take a picture. You can get all of it on Amazon. I am not selling anything. I'm not pitching anything. I'm just sharing what I do here. So, so remembering that, you know, when you're out, just try to keep your distance from people. Don't freak out about it. Try to keep your distance, get only what you need. And then when you get out, wash your hands, you guys, wash your hands. But try to remember that some of the most important things that can protect us are out in nature, that are out in the world around us. Vitamin D, well, not so much today because it's super cloudy. Vitamin D is a hormone that is super protective to the immune system. Getting fresh air, moving your body and oxygenating your cells, making sure that you are stretching and creating good pathways for the lymph nodes and the lymphs to drain. If you have the old rebounders, you guys, does anybody remember the rebounders? I mean, I'm aging myself here, I'm 49, but I remember jumping on my mom's when I was little. I would jump on that thing and tell everyone we had a trampoline. When really, it's like this big. It wasn't a trampoline at all, but a rebounder is fantastic for stimulating the lymph nodes to drain. You can also do something that's called dry brushing. There's my mom. We still have one. Yeah, I have one too. Let me say this too real quick, and I'll just show you. If you don't have a rebounder, this is something that you can do at home to stimulate lymph drainage, which is, you know, one of the healthier ways for you to detox. It's a detox pathway for you. And so you can stand up, and you can't see my feet, well, but all you have to do is go up on the balls of your feet and just bounce up and down like this. Simply lift your heels up and down like you're actually on a rebounder. And what that does is it stimulates all the lymph drainage from everywhere. They're all over your body. If you want a diagram of the lymph nodes, look at, go Google lymph nodes and you'll get a diagram on the anatomy. But you can simply do that. You don't even have to buy a rebounder. Just bounce gently up and down on your hand, on the balls of your toes to start stimulating some of that lymph drainage, or jump on your trampoline if you have one. Okay. I got totally off track on that. Anyway, but going out in nature, exposing yourself to the sun, breathing fresh air as fresh as possible, staying away, you guys, from yards that are being sprayed with pesticides, people that are using weed killer. If you're surrounded by neighbors with those true green lawn signs and you can smell it in the air, you guys, that is toxic. That is an environmental trigger for a lot of different things, but it can also affect your immune system. Here are some other common sense things that I want to share with you. If you are using toxic makeup, if you are using toxic lotions, if you are eating, you know, toxic food that's covered in pesticides and things like that, right? If you are breathing toxic air, if you are thinking toxic thoughts, toxins come from everywhere. So think about it like this. I love the way that one of my peers and mentors, Tracy Harrison from the School of Applied Functional Medicine, fantastic, amazing woman. She said something during a webinar that I was doing with her, and she said this: think of the skin like a mouth, like a giant mouth, right? It's the largest organ on the body. What you put on your skin goes directly into your bloodstream. So think of your skin like a mouth. If you wouldn't put it in your mouth, you shouldn't put it on your skin, okay? Because what that does, it goes straight into your bloodstream and starts the process of toxifying your whole body, right? Which affects your immune system. So, and your thoughts, as I've mentioned at the beginning, are just as important as what you're putting in your mouth, what you're putting on your skin, what you're breathing in the air. So what can you do? Let's say, you know, we're under a 2-week, not going to school thing. People are starting to quarantine themselves around here. This is a perfect opportunity to clean up your makeups, clean up your lotions, clean up the food that, you know, don't throw anything away by any stretch, but clean up the food that you're eating by getting familiar with labels and things that you want to learn more about, how to protect yourself more. And then next time something like this happens, because it's going to happen again, we're talking swine flu, SARS, flu, coronavirus, all that. This is the world we live in. Get educated right now on the preventative side of things so that you don't have to be reactive when this happens in the future. All right, so with that said, let me just keep going a little bit here, and I want to talk for just a moment about prevention versus reaction. So, you know, when I went live the other day about this on my personal page about how we are a reactive society, and one of the things that I believe as people that are healthy right now, right? I'm healthy right now. We have a responsibility to the people out there that are immunocompromised, elderly, children, people that are more susceptible to getting this virus. We have a responsibility to take better care of ourselves and educate people in the same way. And that means focusing on what we can do to not be reactive in the future. You know, prevention is key. And most of the time, people are not living their lives in a preventative way. They're living their lives in a reactive way. So I'm going to use the example, and this is no judgment on anyone, because I used to be a big smoker. I ate junk food. You know, I was a big partier. I've lived that life. I understand that life. I understand that people live that way sometimes as a rule, right? But what that does is when people are living where they are smoking, they're not eating right, they're sedentary, they're not moving their body. We call this the standard American person, right? What happens there is you're seeing most of those types of people are going to be immune system compromised because they're not feeding their body for health. They're feeding their body for disease. So ask yourself this question right now, and ask yourself this question, as I said on my live the other day, before you put anything in your mouth, while you're thinking the thoughts that you think, before you put something on your skin, before you walk out and breathe the air, wherever it is you are you doing these things that are guiding you towards health, or are they guiding you towards disease? Is a thought, I am not worthy, I am not smart enough, I am not enough, I don't feel good, I'm tired. Are those thoughts that are leading you towards a healthier life, or are those leading you towards disease? Those are leading you towards disease, okay? Eating a bunch of sugar, you know, just saying, oh, forget it, we're quarantined, let's just eat all the chips and junk we can. Is that helping you to create preventative measures for the future, or to give you a healthier body for the future? Or is that just you going, oh, screw it, I'll just stay home and eat junk and create more opportunity for my immune system to be weakened as I go forward? We have to become more aware of what we're doing. We have to become more aware of what we're thinking. So when we do that, you guys, and when we change those types of things, we're setting the precedent for the rest of the world or the people in our lives. So I'll give you an example. My kid came down this morning. I had a little discussion with him. I had been saying, and I still say this, fear is our biggest enemy, because when we're fearful, we're stressed out. And when we're stressed out, we don't digest. And when we don't digest, we don't get the nutrients we need. And we don't get the nutrients we need, we get sick. It is that simple. So I've been saying, let's try not to panic. Let's try to not have fearful, worrisome thoughts, because that spreads like wildfire. Okay. But also what spreads like wildfire is positivity and sharing, even just not even speaking your thoughts, but sending out good energy to the world around you. So when Braden came down this morning, my son's name is Braden. I had his digestive enzymes and stuff that we've been taking for teenage acne, right? I've got him on 3 different things for that: probiotic enzymes and betaine HCl enzymes for better digestion. And then I've got a little dish over here, and it's got antivirals in it, and all of that's going to be in the link I share with you guys. And he goes, oh, no. It's the first thing he said. I am not doing this every day. And I said, this is what you've been taking every day. These are the things we're going to do. We're going to ramp them up just a little bit to protect ourselves, because we are going to have to go out into the world here and there to get groceries and things like that. So even my teenager understands, and even though he argued about it, he is on board with doing the antivirals because he wants to stay healthy. If you have children, you have a responsibility to raise those children to have a more preventative mindset as opposed to a reactive mindset. These are the people that are going to be in our future. These are our future, right? We always say our children are our future, and we're all worried about making sure that they are here to lead the way on things in our world. But what I see happening more often than not is our kids are being given free rein with the stuff that they're eating, with the way that they think, with the way that they live. So in this time of crisis, where everyone's starting to freak out, we have a responsibility to help our children to remain calm, to understand that when times like this happen, we can amp it up a little bit to take better care of ourselves, but we need to live in a preventative way as much as possible without stressing ourselves out more. So, okay, hold on. I want to check on the chat and see who's here and what you guys are talking about. Oh, there, yeah, okay. Hi, Patty. Listening as I'm shopping. Hi, Stan. Yeah, I got to go out today too. Arizona, lots of fear. Mormon church closed, schools closing. Yeah, so there are, so the colleges are closing here. There's colleges closing in Clarksville, the high school, all the schools in my county have closed. Shutting down next week, Deanna says, until April 6th. Hi, Deanna, how are you? In Northern California, events over 250 people supposedly canceled per governor. Okay. Yeah, early spring break. Well, spring break, that kind of sucks because spring break's usually a time for people to have fun, which might be taken from everyone, right? Charlotte, North Carolina, stores are emptying. Yeah, ordering things by drive up. Yeah. So that's a good point. Let me say this too, that if there is someone in your home that is immunocompromised, you know, be mindful that even if they're staying home and you're going out, you're bringing home whatever is out there. So if you can possibly have groceries delivered, do that, you guys. Use Instacart or Shipt or something like that. But if you've got people at home, small children, elderly parents that you're caring for, maybe you're sick, I mean, someone is sick in your home, you are exposing them to whatever it is you go out to and you bring home. So that's another thing. This is why it's important. That's why they're saying stay home. Like, don't go out. It's not because, you know, it's not stay home, pull the blinds down, put the deadbolts on. No, it's stay home so that you don't, if you are just a carrier, that you're not carrying it to people who can't tolerate carrying the virus, right? Because so many people have it without even being diagnosed yet. So many of these things where people are taking temperatures before you get on the airplane or before you go into the hospital or whatever, that's great. But what if you don't show symptoms yet? And you're carrying the virus and you're going into these hospitals or you're getting on an airplane in tight closed places and you're exposing people to something you don't even know that you had. So there is no vacation. There is nothing important enough that you need to expose yourself to this type of thing for now. Can we all just get some movies, get your groceries? Toilet paper is such a big thing right now too. Like, everybody's so concerned about toilet paper. Yes, I understand we need toilet paper, but get some healthier groceries, get some puzzles or board games, order some movies, whatever it is, and just take a deep breath, relax, stay home or stay, you know, in with the people that you love, and see this as an opportunity to educate yourselves, clean out your cabinets, clean out your cleaning supplies, start taking better care of yourself in a way that prevents you from having to be reactive in the future. EWG.org is a fantastic place to look. And would it be helpful? I'm not sure how many people are on here are lay people. Wow, you guys are fantastic over here. Yeah, good walk in the sunshine. Yeah, Becky's saying, judging from what people are buying last night, they're saying eat all the crap. Yeah, you know what? That is sad. I'm going to pull something up I want to show you guys real quick for those of you who are on here that are not health coaches or aware of how you can actually start cleaning up your homes while you're quarantined or while you're trying to stay in. I will share my screen with you in one moment. Hold on, I want to make sure I've got everything closed for clients on the back end. Okay, so here we go. I don't want to shop. All right, so EWG.org is right here. So if you're a layman and you haven't heard about it, or you're a health coach and you're out there talking to your audience, encourage people, as I'm encouraging people today, to go out to EWG.org, right up here, you guys, and utilize this resource here to clean up your homes. While you're home, clean up your home so you can be more preventative and less reactive in the future. What does that look like? Clean out your cosmetics, right? Pesticide guides right here when you're shopping. Healthy living tips. And there's a whole section on healthy cleaning. Cleaning out your household cleaning products. Dirty Dozens. This is a website that everyone should have bookmarked and saved. So this is kind of what you can expect. Stop telling me to buy things. Hold on a minute, or sign up for things. I'm already signed up for you guys. All right, so here's an example of how you can do this. So let's just say that you're at home right now and your whole community is on shutdown quarantine. I even heard, I think it was, my friend Lori said something about them even talking about shutting Washington state borders. This is a big deal, you guys. It is a big deal. So while you're under quarantine or you're staying at home and you're trying to, to clean up and get more preventative, look up your products on here. So you can go over here and look up these types of things right here. So I'm gonna click on it. So right here is what's gonna happen. So what you would do is you pull up EWG.org, go into your laundry room, underneath your sink where you keep your cleaning products. whatever it may be. If you're doing it for cosmetics, just bring your computer into your bathroom, get all your cosmetics on the counter and start looking them up one at a time. Look at them and see what kind of a rating they're getting. What are the concerns about the product? This is as thorough as it's going to get, and start making decisions that are in the A-B category. And that way you'll know, right? So here we go. So this is a product I've used in the past because it smells really good. And I thought that it was, you know, reasonably clean. But when I went in and looked it up, this is what I found. So we've got all of these ingredients right here that have a C rating. Why is this important to know? Because if it has a C rating, then it affects your health. And as I can show you right up here, asthma and respiratory concerns, skin allergies and irritation. And I'm not telling you to go off the wall and get all worried about it if your house is full of this stuff, you guys. This is just get started with the process, clean it out a little bit at a time, use the rest of the softener. Don't go throwing everything out and financially stressing yourself out about it. Use it, make a note, okay, I need to make a different choice, and then move on with it. So none of this is being shared with you guys to make you more worried. I'm trying to help you to be more proactive in your life and to be less reactive, okay? All right, so same thing with doing this with makeup. And again, all the charts are here, so go to ewg.org and make use of this site and start cleaning up your environment so that you can feel comfortable and not so reactive later on. When we support the immune system, we are supporting everything in our body, right? So having a healthy immune system means having open pathways, having a healthy liver, having healthy kidneys, making sure that you're eliminating through regular bowel movements 2 to 3 a day. And if you're not, getting to the bottom of why you're not, making sure that you are thinking good thoughts, making sure that you are going to sleep and getting enough rest to repair your body, to help your body to repair. And just remember, and again, and I'm going to wrap up here in a second, but you guys, what we think affects everything about how our body functions. How we feel about ourselves, how we feel about the world around us can either create stress or can help us to see things in a better, more healthy way. All right, so it looks like Becky, has been prepared for at least a month. People are saying you'll get enough food for 2 weeks kind of thing. I am having a clean out weekend. You're welcome. I have shared that with you before, Mom. I've given you ewg.org a million times. And, you know, the thing is that we forget because there's so many resources out there that we can be using. So EWG, clean up all your stuff, you guys. Share this with your clients if you're a health coach on here. Here's my suggestion if you're a health coach and want to spread the word about this and try to calm people down a bit. Talk about how to be more proactive and preventative as opposed to reactive. Talk about how to support the immune system. Explain, like I did today, where the immune system is and what affects the immune system. But most of all, let's get people, you know, to calm down, to see this, you know, see this differently, see this as an opportunity to spend more time with our friends and our family, see this as an opportunity to get more preventative and proactive by cleaning out the things in our environment, you know, our cabinets, our makeup, and so on that I just explained to you guys, to look at how we can actually eat to be more supportive of our immune systems. You know, to have more fun. This is an opportunity to have more fun. I know that sounds crazy, but we don't have to take on all the stress that's out there in the world around us. Just because the news is telling us that we should worry doesn't mean that we have to worry. We get a choice. We can say, I'm going to sit in, I'm going to, you know, do puzzles, or I'm going to play games, or I'm going to watch movies, or we're going to cook together and listen to music. That's fun. That's connection. I'm not saying stay at home and let your kids just sit here and do this all day, or you do this all day. I'm saying, how can we open up to having more connection? Connecting with people is absolutely immune supportive. Having love in your life, laughing protects the immune system. Good sex protects the immune system. Again, having more joy in your life, changing your thoughts protects the immune system. Meditation protects the immune system. So one thing I want to say about this as well is we either have thoughts of fear or we have thoughts of peace and joy. How do we get there? If you're a person that is in the habit of thinking negatively, you've got to start breaking that habit. How do you do that? You become aware of the thoughts that come in. So to be able to sit in awareness is going to be a real big tool for strengthening your immune system. So let me give you an example. And I have a friend who worries a lot. I actually have 2 friends that worry about a lot about health. And I know when something like this happens, I know that this is going to be a major fear for these 2 friends of mine. So one of the things is, I always say this is, the minute that you feel something inside of your body that feels like a tightening or heat or a quickening or an underlying anxiety, before you even have the thought, be aware of that feeling, that physical feeling that's happening. And when you're aware of it, you have the opportunity to calm yourself down by going, okay, this is just a feeling I'm having. I am going to go ahead and give myself a message of, you know, calmness or peace or whatever. This is, and I know maybe this is too much woo-woo for you guys, but this is absolutely effective. Once you do that, you'll feel those symptoms go away. You'll feel your heart racing, or the racing heart starts to calm down. The gut feelings of fluttering around and nervousness start to calm down. The tension starts to release. The shoulders start to come down. The heat in your back where your adrenals are starts to settle down. When you do this kind of thing, you see how powerful you truly are and how much control you can have over what happens inside your body. Just like the lemon example I gave earlier. You think about a lemon, your mouth waters. If you think about the lemon and you think of the awareness of the lemon and think that this is what it could make me, my mouth do, whatever, your mouth won't water. You have control over this stuff, okay? So when I'm saying all this stuff, all I'm telling you is this, is we've got to get control of the fear, because fear creates that stress. Stress inhibits the digestion, and we got to have those nutrients and everything that we need to be healthy. The bone broth, all of the supplements that you think are going to support you, all of that stuff. So let me grab you a link real quick. So is any of this helpful for you guys? Yeah, spring cleaning, right on, Mary, absolutely. Diane says, I've been exercising this entire webinar. Keep moving while you're listening. Yeah, but on the other side of that as well, Diane, let's say this too, is if someone is immune system compromised, or they are under significant stress, sometimes too much exercise or exercise at all can be too much stress on the body, because it is a stressor as well. So move to the ability of your body, which, you know, at the Institute for Functional Health Coaching, I call that safe movement. All right, let's see. But first and foremost, let's stop stressing people out about this. Let's stop stressing ourselves out. Let's start calming down about this, and let's start spreading the word about, hold on, I'm grabbing the link, about how our thoughts are affecting our immune system. Here we go. Here's the Dropbox link. The only thing I forgot to put in there is Manuka honey. I love Manuka honey. That is an antiviral, antibacterial, and yes, it's different than regular honey. So if you don't have Manuka on hand, you guys, you could put it in a cut and heal your cut. It's powerful stuff. So with that said, all I wanted to do today was to encourage you guys to have common sense, share common sense with the people in your life. But also remember that stress is the #1 thing that inhibits immune system health. It can absolutely make or break whether or not you get this virus or not. It can absolutely help you to heal faster or slower than you would if you were not thinking stressful thoughts and living stressful lives and eating stressful things. So let's try to get a hold of the fear and panic. Let's try to have more fun. Let's encourage people while they're home, wherever they live, just to clean out their environment, clean up the things in their lives that could be compromising their immune system and making them more reactive than preventative. And first and foremost, use this as an opportunity to think about how you're living your life without the virus. How are you living when these types of things aren't happening? Are you living in a way that creates disease, or are you leaning into health? Again, think about that when you're eating, when you're putting stuff on your skin. That's going to help you make better decisions before you put that ice cream in your mouth or put those chips in your mouth. Is this going to make me healthier, or is this going to make me more susceptible to disease? Ask yourself that question. Before you ask yourself that question, I promise you it's going to determine the answer. If you say, I really don't care, I want to eat this gluten-free chocolate chip cookie because it makes me happy, then your joy is more important than what that cookie could do to your body, okay? It just is. All right, I'm going to look at one more thing and then I'll wrap up. But Italians are not allowed to leave their homes, and one person at a time go to pharmacy or store. Being out in the sun and garden at your home, all good, yeah. Protocols will likely reduce regular influenza numbers for this year. Great point, Becky. Absolutely great point. I'm hoping I didn't miss anything. But you know what, coaches? I really hope you guys are taking this as an opportunity, because you guys have so much information that you should be sharing with people and getting the word out about this. This is not an opportunity to go out and monetize on people's fear. This is an opportunity to educate. And I see someone asking for the link. It's up in the chat. Are you guys seeing the link? Can someone say, yeah, I grabbed it? Because if one person can grab it, then the rest of them can. Zooming my clients to help them. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Were you able to open the link? Before I wrap up, I want to make sure. No, you can't see it. What the heck? All right, hold on. I'm going to put it on here. Let's try again. Okay, this should do it. Okay, there it is. Tell me if you got it. Yay, thank you, Becky. Fantastic. Yep, and again, you guys, that's my list of things that were already in my pantry. I never bought any of that just because of the coronavirus. I have that in my pantry from the time that my kid was small enough to come home and say, Billy threw up on the floor today. I mean, if he would come home and say, you know, I'd say, how was school today? Oh, you know, no, I'm just using the name Billy, but, oh, Billy threw up on the floor next to my desk today. I'd be like, ugh, and I would get all these things that you're looking at. It says it can't be viewed. All right, hold on. And I would put him on those, and I would take them myself. I would be like, all right, take this and this and this and this. And I have to tell you that it was very rare that the kid ever got sick. Okay, hold on. So I'm gonna share my screen. Tell me if you're seeing this. Hold on a minute. Sharing my screen. Yeah, okay. That, you guys aren't seeing that? Okay, can you see it when I'm sharing my screen? I just want to make sure. No, Patty, I'm not talking about masks. I'm talking about kind of, I mean, that's just common. That's the thing that that's common advice out there. You can see people wearing masks all the time. Okay. Yeah, put a mask on if you're very fearful. Absolutely. It's not something that I'm going to be doing, and it's not something that I'm talking more about how we can reduce fear and we can think differently and all of that. But if a mask makes you feel better, then absolutely. Okay, so it says no permission. Okay, hold on. All right, I'm gonna stop my share. Just bear with me, you guys, and I'll go in and make it, what I probably ended up doing was putting it as view only or not view. Okay, see if your extension is correct. Well, stinkers. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me do this instead. Hold on. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, I'm gonna upgrade this. Okay, if you guys are on here, you're registered. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna screenshot it, and then I'm going to upgrade this and change it to a different file extension. So when you guys get the when you get the replay, I'll have the link in there so you can grab it. Okay, yeah. Obviously the Dropbox. You did a. Yeah, I hear you, Catherine. I know it can't be previewed because the settings have changed in my Dropbox. So, hi, Sherry, you're late to the party. But I am going to, I'm going to share the link. You guys can grab it. And do you want me to leave it up so you can grab the screen share? Would that be helpful for those of you who know how to screen share? I'm going to pull it up one more time so you can take a look. But fear not, I'll send it out in the replay. Okay, where did it go? Okay, hold on. I'm going to open it up one more time for you. And again, you guys, if you're health coaches, spread the word in a non-fearful way about how we can, I'm gonna pull that up. I'll put it right in front of my face so you're not looking at me. If you wanna grab that, that's okay, Linda, no worries, no worries. Yeah, so screenshot and grab, these are my tried and trues. That's homemade broth up in the corner I pulled out of the freezer. Let me run through what these are real quick if you want me to, if that would be helpful. So this, again, this is stuff I had in the pantry. I didn't go out and buy all of this because people were sick and everyone was freaking out. This is stuff that I have on hand. Like I said, if Braden comes home from school and says there's a bunch of sick people at school, I'll amp up our antivirals. Top left-hand corner, homemade bone broth. I already talked about in this video about how to make that. It's super, super simple. It's not a complicated thing. The silver in the middle is something that I actually, believe it or not, half of what is on this list right here is what I cured my kids' strep throat with without antibiotics, and silver is one of the items that I did that with. You can go to Amazon and get any of these things. And I'm not going to tell you what dosage or anything like that to take. These are just my products. Lauricidin is something that I have on hand and I will not live without. Everyone I've recommended it to is like hands down one of the most powerful immune system boosters you can take. And I'll just give you an example. My head filled up. Gosh, I was talking to my mom. Mom, was this yesterday or day before? I can't remember. Might have been the day before. My head started to get stopped up like right up here, and I got a little bit of a headache over here, and I started to feel it coming in right here, and I'm like, what the heck is that? So I did 3 doses of Lauricidin, 3 doses of silver, doubled up. Hold on, I got to call Waco, Texas. Doubled up on my Megaspore probiotic, and literally within 6 hours, all of that was completely gone. Literally completely gone. So Lauricidin, Megaspore probiotic is over on the right-hand side. When I send out the replay, I will include my link for Megaspore. If you don't buy it already, you should. Zinc is another one, a huge immune support right there. Don't go crazy on zinc because it can actually displace copper, which is an important thing to our system as well, but it is important to have on board. NAC, N-acetylcysteine, is the precursor to glutathione, which is our master antioxidant. So let me touch on that one real quick. You can actually take glutathione straight up if you want, or you can take the precursor to it, N-acetylcysteine, which is, I'm pointing at the screen, but you guys can't see me. So here's my cursor. That is N-acetylcysteine right here. And I'm leaving this up so you can screenshot it. But N-acetylcysteine, glutathione. Glutathione is your master antioxidant. I'm going to explain this to you so you understand it in layman's terms. That's who I'm talking to today. Lee, do you guys not see my screen right now? Oh my gosh. What is happening that my screen keeps getting kicked off? Hold on. All right, do you see it now? Okay. Golly, I hate when that happens. I'm in a different room and sometimes it kicks my screen share off. So again, bone broth in the left, silver, lauricidin, and then I'm going clockwise around, Megaspore probiotic. Zinc next to that. N-acetylcysteine is the precursor to glutathione, which is what I was talking about. Sorry that the screen wasn't up. I don't know what happened to that. Glutathione is your master antioxidant. So here's what I want you to think about it like this. I want you to think about, this is the analogy I like to give, is let's just say there's been a party at the local high school and it's a prom. We've had a prom at the local high school and they've thrown confetti all over the place, right? So confetti, think about that as free radicals in your body, toxins in the body, free radicals, things that affect your cells, things that affect your mitochondria, things that affect your immune system. Free radicals, confetti, free radicals all over the floor, things that make you sick. Let's say all the teenagers go home and the janitor, glutathione, see glutathione is the janitor with one of those big giant brooms, comes up behind all the confetti, the free radicals, and cleans things up and gets rid of them. Glutathione is the master antioxidant that comes in and sweeps up all those free radicals. It's your master antioxidant. You have to have it to be healthy. Now think about what that gym floor would look like with all those free radicals without glutathione, the master antioxidant, the janitor that cleans up the body. Those free radicals would just lay there and continue to make a mess, right? They would just continue to keep the body a mess. Glutathione is extremely important for continuing to open up the pathways in the body. So N-acetylcysteine is the precursor. You can get that easily at a vitamin shop. Glutathione I recommend as a liposomal glutathione, which is more bioavailable to the body, a little bit harder to get quality glutathione at your local shops, but it is possible. Okay, continuing to go around here. When I send out the replay, I'm going to send out the link for what you might see here. See my little cursor. Berkeley Life Professionals, nitric oxide support. Holy crap. I might even include the webinar for this if anyone's interested. I interviewed the scientist who spoke in depth about nitric oxide support and how important it is to the immune system, to a healthy sex life, to everything in your body. You guys, it is a game changer. Mom, if you want to share your experience with how you've seen your nitric oxide levels improve since taking this product, I, hands down, will probably not be without this product for the rest of my natural life. So I will share a link for the nitric oxide support as well. Continuing to go through here, I'm looping back around betaine HCl. So betaine, as I spoke earlier, I'm going to lump these two together. Betaine HCl and Digest Basics Enzymatica is an enzyme which has lipase, lipase, amylase, lactase, all the enzymes that you need to digest your food. Remember how I talked about how stress is the #1 inhibitor of healthy digestion, right? Which is why I'm telling everybody, get a different view on your stress. If you want to support the immune system, got to start perceiving stress differently, because it affects these two things right here: hydrochloric acid in the gut and the basic enzymes we need to be healthy. So these two things right here, whenever I'm under significant stress, I will up my enzymes before every meal. And if I'm eating protein at all or something that I might struggle to digest when I'm under stress, I will add the betaine HCl with pepsin. Very important. Never take betaine HCl without the pepsin included in it. That's protective for the gut, okay? So if you're asking me questions, I'll look at them in a minute in the chat. But those two enzymes right here, hands down, if you are having gas, bloating, undigested food particles, or you're not using the bathroom 2 to 3 times a day, these are things you should consider to support your digestive system. And this is not something like, you need to do this now. This is me saying, if you want to poop more and eliminate better and have a healthier detoxification pathway, consider looking at your enzymes as a first line of defense. Vitamin B12, this is a methylcobalamin version of vitamin B. If you have the SNPs on your DNA of the MTHFR SNP, I'm not even going to try to say that word right here because it's so complex and hard to say. But you know, it's a common problem for people to have MTHFR, genetic mutation on their genes, a mutation on their gene that inhibits them from properly methylating vitamin B, which is important to everything in your body. So vitamin B12 in methylcobalamin form is hugely important to the immune system. Omega-3s, hugely important, obviously, to inflammation in the body, as an anti-inflammatory for the brain and the body. Then right here, the vitamin D, K2. Vitamin D is a hormone, works best when synthesized with K2 by Thorne, Thorne. You can get this on Amazon. All this can be gotten on Amazon. I am not going to be providing links in the replay for this because I'm not trying to make any money or do anything. I'm just sharing valuable education and information, and you guys can Amazon all of this on your own. But vitamin D is super important. You know, there used to be a lot of information going back and forth on the roller coaster of vitamin D, you know, about how you need to have your levels up above 100. And then it was like, no, that's too toxic. It needs to be down here. So having your blood levels of vitamin D tested in the fall and then again in the spring, I believe, is very important. You don't just willy-nilly start taking a hormone, you guys. Vitamin D is a hormone, okay? It can affect everything. In fact, there was a time when I was taking it a couple years ago, and my hot flashes from menopause were getting worse. And I was like, what in the world is going on? It was affecting my hormones to the point of making my hot flashes worse. I stopped taking it within 2 days. My hot flashes went away. Okay. So we don't just grab things because they're over the counter and start taking them. Some things require us to look at blood levels and make sure that we're being smart about that. It's an easy thing to do. Vitamin D testing is not a hard, difficult thing. You can do that on your own with a local lab. Vitamin C, liposomal vitamin C is also another powerful method of taking vitamin C. I included this packet here because I vacillate between liposomal vitamin C and buffered vitamin C. If I'm doing buffered vitamin C, buffered meaning that it protects the gut, it's buffered so it doesn't affect the gut, because many times people will go crazy with vitamin C to the point where they'll give themselves diarrhea. This is called bowel tolerance, right? Sometimes people are advised, take enough vitamin C to bowel tolerance. Well, what the hell does that mean? That means if you take vitamin C and you get diarrhea, you've taken too much. We don't want to go to the point of diarrhea, but we want to get the benefits of vitamin C. So when I take buffered vitamin C, I will take anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C in times like this, where people around me are panicking and sick and all of that. I will up the ante on the vitamin C as well. All right, I'm going to go to the chat, and then I'm going to wrap up unless you guys want to talk more about it. So Catherine, I wish I could see the label on the silver. I don't even remember the brand because I've been taking it for so many years. But you guys can see this now, right? Yeah. Okay. So Becky, yeah, absolutely. You can do a fistful of greens with vinegar 6 times a day if you really wanted to on nitric oxide. But if you watch the webinar that I did with Berkeley Life, you're going to see that that's not as effective as actually taking the supplement to increase your nitric oxide production. So they talk about the greens and everything. I tell you one thing I don't want to do is take vinegar 6 times a day. That can actually make you too acidic as well. This makes sense. They sell the test strips. You can literally see how your nitric oxide increases with the test strips and taking the supplement, and you feel different, 100% different. And I will try to remember the brand of the silver, but you could go on Amazon and see the label. It's got a little mountain on it. Someone else might even take this, right? Yes, I keep these in the house at all times, Diane, but I do not take them for regular consumption. As I mentioned, if my kid comes home and says someone puked on the floor, or someone sneezed or coughed on my hand, or everyone at school is sick, yes, I will absolutely, I will up the ante on all my antivirals for sure. Yes, the one between zinc, Mega-4 Biotic and NAC is zinc. Yes, thank you, Kristen. Yep. Nitric oxide on the, yep, no, this is the nitric oxide where my cursor is. This is the probiotic Megaspore. Colloidal silver is available at health foods and Whole Foods everywhere, but the brand matters. And I would definitely do my research on this and simply just put into Google. You know what? I'm going to show you how to do that. This is, I mean, I'm taking this to a different level here. Let me, hold on, and let me show you guys how I search things sometimes. Hold on a minute. You can probably see my cursor just zipping around down there. And again, there's ewg.org. And you know what I'm going to probably do? Hold on a minute. I'll include that. I'm going to include some of this stuff in the replay, but I'm not going to give anybody doses or anything like that. I'm not going to do that. You guys can make your own decisions on that. Okay, so this is how, hold on a minute. This is how I kind of check things out. You can look things up. So silver. Let's see here. Let's say best colloidal silver functional medicine. Let's see what we have going on here. So of course, here's the other thing. I hate that everything is turning into an ad. When I look things up sometimes, I don't even get to a link, you guys, until like page 2 or 3 sometimes lately. It's just an absolute disaster. But usually when I put the words functional medicine or natural approach or functional approach into the search engine when I'm looking up products, I'm going to get some reasonably good, reliable resources. Okay, yes, and do your homework on this stuff, you guys. Absolutely do your homework. Silver has no known function or benefits when taken by mouth. I believe that's bullshit. Sorry, excuse me, but I think that's crap. So I like Dr. Axe. He gives us some really good layman-friendly ways to learn about these types of things. He explains it, explains the benefits of it, right? So, and now I'm gonna get another pop-up. Oh, shoot me. Ionic silver, silver protein, true colloidal silver. Yes, there's going to be that random person that says, remember that guy who turned blue? You guys, he made his own and he drank this stuff by the quarts every day. So it's not even apples to apples. But here we go, antibiotic resistant superbugs. So you know what? You can grab links like this and read about it. Okay, learn more about it. Pink eye, ear infections, antiviral. Here you go. You know, antiviral for HIV/AIDS. You know what? That just reminded me. I want to share something else with you guys. I see you guys dropping off, and that's good because we're going a little bit long here. But I'm also going to include a link on scalar light therapy. I'm going to plug this in right now. I interviewed, and let me know if you guys would like me to interview or to share the link to the interview I did the other day with Tom Palladino about scalar light therapy. Hang on a minute. Yeah, I do too, Cheryl. I use the silver by mouth and spray it up my nose too. That was some article by like Conventional Medicine or something like that. There is no metal taste with the silver that I take. I can taste a little bit of something. Sovereign, thank you, Cheryl. Sovereign silver. Yes. I've been taking it for years. That's why I don't remember the name. I taste very little aftertaste with the brand that I'm sharing right here. Let me scroll back up to the top here. I was talking about that brand. Yep, the top brands of colloidal silver. I take antivirals as a preventative now. Before a single symptom comes up, I will up my antivirals 100%. Yes. Yeah, Cheryl, me too. Let's see. Hi, Emily. Oh, there's my friend, one of my bestie friends. Is there a metal taste? I already answered that. The brand is bioactive. I don't know much about that, but I would do some research on anything that I plan to take by plugging it into Google, seeing who shows up to provide reliable and credible resources for it. Thank you, Stan. Yes, you're welcome. And hold on a minute. Yeah, no metal taste. And my mom tastes, Doreen is my mom. She takes the same brand. Okay, yep, and I got the question. Thank you, Patricia, for putting that in there. Okay, so you guys are getting like a, you know, just as a crash course on my antivirals, crash course on how to keep your mind healthy, to teach your body how to stay healthy and this kind of thing. Just a crash course across the board. But the takeaway today should be this, is that, you know, how we think affects our health, how we see stress affects our digestion, how we live our lives gives us, you know, the ability to be proactive or reactive. And if you are a health and wellness educator like I am, I encourage you, please, we have a responsibility to get out there to the world, to our audience, to the people that trust and rely on us for valuable information, to teach them these tools to learn how to be more proactive and less reactive as a society in general. And then to really, you know, surround the people in our lives that are more susceptible with that. That is a responsibility that I take very seriously. You know, one of the first things that I think about right now is my mom and dad. You know, they're in that population that they are a little bit more susceptible, not because they don't take care of themselves, because they do, but simply we are all more susceptible as we age. So I think about that when things like this happen, and I implore that we all do the same thing, you guys. It's not just about us and our kids, it's about the people that we love and care about as well. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I canceled my kid's pediatrician appointment just for his annual yearly exam today, and because he's healthy and I don't want to expose him to sick people that might be in there, as a preventative thing. You guys, that's what people are also using hospitals and doctors for. If they get the slightest cough, they're going in and they're re-exposing themselves to more viruses and sicknesses, or they're exposing other people to it as well, to getting sick as well, when it might not even be anything at all. Let's try to stay home if we can. Have faith in your own body's ability to repair and to take care of itself. Get yourself out of the way. In other words, get the bad food and the stuff that's going on your skin and in your system and in through your nose out of the way, and protect your body with your thoughts. Okay. All right. I hope you have a good weekend, you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. And you know what, if you're a health coach and you're a student or a member of my mentorship, share your lives or tag me in them wherever you do them, so I can see that you're spreading the word. And as always, reach out if you need anything at all. Love you, Mom. Love you guys. Have a great rest of the day. See you later.